Hi, this is George Risen. If you've been watching us for a while, you know what question I'm going to ask you today. Have you taken your medicine? You know that God prescribed good cheer and laughter that is found in Proverbs 17:22, where it says simply, laughter is a good medicine. Now, one thing I learned early on as a pastor, you had better learn to laugh at yourself. If you lead worship, you are going to make a mistake, and even the sleepiest of congregations will catch every one of them. And in my years of minister, I have made many mistakes in worship, such as one Sunday in my congregation, I announced Easter. The only problem was the date I said was not really Easter. There was a lady on the front pew, a young woman named Sarah, who seemed to delight in catching any mistakes I made. She always alerted me, and she blurted out, "George, that's not the day of Easter." Or I remember the day when I had just moved about 2 weeks before to a new church. I was receiving some new members into that church, and as I received them, I welcomed them in membership of Herbert Memorial United Methodist Church. The only problem was the name of my new church was Brooklyn. The older church the other church I had served was Herbert Memorial. That got a response from the congregation. One lady just blurted out, "George, this is not Herbert Memorial, this is Brooklyn." So I corrected myself and then simply said, "It takes me a little while to get fully moved." But one of the times I remember most was before I was ever ordained, when my friend Larry and we'd grown up together, both going into the ministry, 18 and 17 years old almost, I think it was. And we'd been asked by a brave or perhaps foolhardy pastor to lead the service in that little rural church. I was glad that Larry was not shy, because he volunteered to preach, which I really didn't want to do, but I had the privilege of leading the rest of the service. Well, I almost led it. I forgot to receive the offering that Sunday morning. And when the service was over, Reverend Sweat ran up to me and he said, "George, you forgot to take up the offering." And I kind of thought it was funny, actually. He seemed rather perturbed by it. A few years later, when I was serving my own church, I understood how difficult that could be, to miss a Sunday's offering in a little church like that. Oh, by the way, let me slip a non-humorous word in here. Due to the cancellation of our worship services together, we've not been able to send the offering plates around in the sanctuary for weeks. But you can give online. You can mail in your contributions, or on Sunday mornings between 10 and 11, you can come by and leave your offering in a drive-through offering. There will be ushers in the back parking lot. We thank you for your support. Oh, by the way, in the coming weeks, there will also be copies of the upper room for you to pick up as you come through. So have a good day, and be sure to take your medicine, even if it means laughing at yourself just a bit.